Hey guys, Video IQ here, and in this video I'll be talking about key combinations on the computer that you should know to improve your efficiency while working on the computer. So without any much wasting of time, let's get to the computer. This is the Windows 10 Pro version 20H2, so it is the most recent version of Windows to have come out now. So the first key combination is Alt plus Tab. Now what this does is opens a list of all the Windows, all the apps that are presently running on the computer, and if you want to toggle through them while pressing the Alt key, pressing and holding on the Alt key, tap on the Tab key, and this will actually move this little box around the apps that are running. And if you want to select one, all you have to do is just release the Alt key and it will be selected, and that will happen. It will take you to the tab that you have selected. The next key combination is Win key plus Tab, which is the Windows key plus Tab button. Now what this does is opens task view, where you can see the list of open windows that are running and the number of desktops you have opened. And instead of coming here to swap or toggle between desktops, you can actually use the next key combination, which is Windows key plus Control plus the left or the right arrow keys. Now what this does is just switches between the open desktops, and since I'm on the first desktop and the next desktop is at the right of the first desktop, what I do is just Windows Control then the right arrow, and it just switches to the next desktop. And if I want to go back to the first, I'll click the left arrow. So the next key combination is Win key plus left arrow or right arrow. Now what this does is it divides your screen into two, so that you can have two Windows, two softwares or two applications running at the same time. So if I have my File Explorer open and I have my browser open, but I want to do two things at the same time, I can use the Windows plus left key to resize my browser and put it on the left side. Then I'll just click on the File Explorer there, and it automatically resizes to fit the empty space. And now I can do two things at the same time. I can, instead of my File Explorer being here, I can maybe put a movie that I'm watching, but I also want to be doing some work on maybe making some research. So this is a very nice key combination that I use a lot. The next is Windows key plus A. Now what this does is it opens the action center, which is just this little box here, and if you don't want to use the mouse to go all the way to this place, you can just use Windows key plus A and it will open it. You can see we have a lot of settings here that you can also toggle on and off. The next key, Windows key plus D. Now what this key does is it minimizes all running applications. I have my File Explorer, I have my browser open, but I don't want to start minimizing them one by one. I want to save time. So if I want that, I can just press Windows key plus D and all of them will be minimized, no stress. The next is Windows key plus E, which opens the File Explorer. So if I don't want to again use my mouse to go all the way over here, I can use Windows key plus E and it opens the File Explorer for me. The next is Windows key plus F. This actually opens the Feedback Hub, which is a platform designed by Microsoft to give feedback on applications that has been designed for Windows. Next key is Windows key plus I. Now this opens the settings, and it opens the settings where you can change or modify anything. But apart from that, Windows key plus U also opens the settings. So if your hand is closer to the U button, you can use Windows key plus U to open it. The next key combination is Windows key plus key. Now this opens the Connect sidebar just where the Action Center is, and you can actually use it to connect to Bluetooth devices or Miracast, and you can search for devices to connect to. You can also project to this PC or project this PC to an external display or a wireless display. The next key is Windows key plus L. Now what this does is automatically locks the computer. You don't want to open start and look for the power button and then press the lock or sleep. What this does is just automatically locks it so that you can save time or whatever you want to save. The next key combination is Windows key plus M. This also does the same job as Windows key plus D. It minimizes all running applications so that you can save time instead of minimizing them all at once. The next key is Windows P. What this does is opens the project tab so that you can project your PC screen to an external display via AVG cable or HDMI cable, or you can connect to a wireless display as said there. The next is Windows key plus Q. Now what this does is opens the search bar for you to search for anything on your computer just speedily so that you don't have to open start and start searching through your applications. The Windows key plus S also performs the same function as Windows key plus Q, so that's very handy in case your finger is closer to S than Q. You can just use that one. The next one is Windows key plus R. This opens the run window where you can run exe files on your computer. This is WinRAR. This one opens the Windows version for my computer. As you can see, I'm running 20H2. So the next key combination is Windows key plus V. Now this opens the clipboard and you can see where you have saved a bunch of stuff, and here you can pin what you have copied. You can unpin them, you can clear all that you have copied, and whatever you have pinned will remain the same even after you restart your computer. The next key combination is Windows key plus W. Now what this does is opens the pen and Windows ink feature on here. You can see you can have a whiteboard where you can just scribble, but you have to download it first. For the last key combination for the desktop is Windows key plus X. Now what it does is performs the same thing as right clicking on the start button. So if I right click on the start button, it will give me this list of options, but if I also press Windows key plus X, it will give me the same list of options. So this is just a quick way to save time if you don't want to move the mouse all around. So that is all for the desktop. We're going to move on to browser key combinations. This one is what you use when you are on your browser. It's basically the same for different browsers, but I'm using Microsoft Edge to demonstrate. So the first key combination for the browser is Ctrl plus Tab or Ctrl plus Shift plus Tab. Now this is a way to navigate between tabs if I don't want to use the mouse to select tabs. So if I have a bunch of tabs open but I'm on this tab and I want to go to this tab, I can just use Ctrl Shift plus T plus Ctrl Shift plus Tab to move to the next tab. And if I want to go backwards, I use Ctrl Shift plus Tab. If I want to go forwards, I just use Ctrl plus Tab, and it's very seamless. You can switch between tabs very quickly. The next key combination is Alt key plus the left or right arrow. Let's say I go to a link on Google. So I opened this, but I want to go back without moving my mouse. So what I just do is use the Alt key plus the left arrow, and that will actually take me back one page that will take me back to the previous page I was on in that tab. If I want to move forward, I will go Alt key plus right arrow and it will take me to the page I had visited before going back to that first page. The next key combination is Ctrl plus D. Now on the browser you have favorites. What this does is add the particular site you are on to your favorites. You can name it and you can add it to other places on your favorites bar, and when you are done you can just click done and if you want to remove it, just click on the star and it will be removed from your favorites. The next key combination is Ctrl plus F. Now what this does is opens the Find tab where you can search for stuff on a particular site or through the web. The same thing can be triggered through Ctrl plus G. Next is Ctrl plus H. It opens the history of the browser that you are working on. The next is Ctrl plus J. This opens the download manager for the browser. The next is Ctrl plus L. Now what this does is highlights all the characters in the search bar so that you can easily type another thing in there. You want to search for something, you can just press Ctrl plus L and it will highlight all the characters there. A similar key combination that will do the same thing is Alt plus D, and what it does is also selects all the characters in the search bar so that you can just type over it and it will take you to where you want to. The next is Ctrl plus N. This opens a new browser window where you can do a different set of work, different from the window you are just coming from. The next is Ctrl plus P. Now this opens a print tab where you can edit the presets so that you can print exactly what is on that page. If it was a mistake, you can just hit cancel or you can print. The next is Ctrl plus R. What this does is refreshes the page. If you don't want to move your mouse up to the menu bar and click the little arrow, round arrow icon, you can press Ctrl plus R, or if you'd like, use F5 and it will do the same thing. The next is Ctrl plus S. Now you can save this site on your computer as a web page document so that you don't have to look for the site when you want to visit it again. You can just save it on your computer, and when you want it, you can just open it from your computer. The next is Ctrl plus T. This opens a new tab. The next is Ctrl plus U. This opens the source page of the present tab that you are working on. It opens the source page where you can see the HTML code and any other code it might have been written in. The next is Ctrl plus W. What it does is closes the present tab. So if I open the tab but I don't want it, so I just use Ctrl plus W to close it. So that's all for this video. If you want to see another video like this but on specific apps, leave a comment and I will try my best to make a video like that. But that's been all for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something, and if you did, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.